Everybody, welcome back to the Movie Pod. My name's Isaac, joined by our co-host here, Joseph. How you going, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm a little disappointed. We're getting on the finale right now, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but that's fine. We know it's gonna slap.
It's gone to slap. The show's been incredible. So far, one episode left, which is obviously the finale, directed by Rick Famuyiwa. Obviously, Dave writing, Dave show running. So I'm sure it's going to be a banger. The runtime is a little bit disappointing. So it clocks in at 49 minutes. You take away credits, you take away the intro recap, it will sit at about 45 minutes, just under that. So it's looking at like a 45-minute episode for the finale, which is a little disappointing, but because I still feel like there's a lot to do. I know it will end on a cliffhanger, end with questions, which will lead into The Mandalorian Season 4, Ahsoka Season 2, and then obviously Dave Filoni's big Heir to the Empire movie, which I'm starting to think, and a lot of other people are starting to think, Dave Filoni will get a trilogy. I just feel he will need more than one movie to sum up everything, and then obviously lead into, the sequels, the First Order. I think my prediction for that is, if he gets given a trilogy, 3 movies, it's a trilogy in between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, and it just sets up. I'm starting to face it that it's going to set up the sequels, Palpatine's return, and it's going to explain the stuff in the sequels. And I know that's out of Dave's control, probably, Pablo Hidalgo, Lucasfilm guy, he probably wants it all to connect. So Dave is probably going to try and fix the sequels, or at least explain them, which isn't totally a bad thing. We have to recognize the sequels are canon, they exist. As much as I would just love for them to disregard them, maybe it is better if they try to make it make sense. Maybe it makes the movies a little bit more enjoyable, and if it makes, if it fills in plot holes, sure. But I'm starting to think all this really will lead to the sequels, lead to the creation of the First Order by the end of it all. And there is a lot to come, definitely, for sure. We've gotten so much, but I feel like there's still so much to get. And as of the finale for Ahsoka, my big question is, who's calling to Baylan? Will we find that out? Obviously, Ray Stevenson's no longer with us, so whether they continue the character of Baylan Skoll by recasting, or if he dies in the finale, which I doubt. But there's been lots of speculation about who's calling to Baylan. People think it's like Abeloth, so many different things, the Mortis gods, the sun, those ancient beings that are talked about in Jedi Fallen Order, the Zepho. But I've seen a little bit of rumors. Now, bear me out. What if it's somehow...
Wait, I've got it.
What?
Are you gonna say, is it the Bendu? Or something like it?
That's been one. Bendu, that's not what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, what if it's somehow, Palpatine, Snoke?
Oh, shicer.
If they want to connect it to all that, if they want to, if all this is leading to the creation of the First Order, is it Snoke? Is it Palpatine calling out to Baylan Skoll as Baylan?
Is Baylan Skoll Snoke?
No.
Well,
as far as I'm aware,
messed
Palpatine.
up.
Well, he could be. Baylan could be part of Snoke's spliced genes.
Yeah,
maybe.
What I mean. That's what I was getting at. Was he's clearly strong with the Force.
Yep, very strong. Ahsoka can't beat him.
And real wise. So, I have seen some theories on why Ahsoka can't beat him, and it's not because he's better, it's not because... These are theories, so, again, take it as a theory. But it's not because he's a better fighter, or he's a better Jedi, or whatever. It's just because the Force is willing him to. The Force is on his side at the moment.
Yep, that makes sense.
That's the best way that,
Yep.
people have explained. Because, if you look at last episode where Huyang, fires at him with the ship, and like he's fine and everything. It's just like, oh, that's lucky. It's kind of, oh well, the Force willed it to be. So it's just, there's more in depth about it, but it's just the simplest way to do it. I don't think Ahsoka. I don't think he's better than Ahsoka. Especially now that she's like even more powerful than what she was previously.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that the will is forcing him to the Force is willing him to stay alive, not beat her, but stay alive.
Sure, yeah. That makes sense. So I really hope the finale focuses a lot on Baylan and who is calling to him. But then again, it's 45 minutes, and there's a lot more they have to sum up. This show is not directly about Baylan's goal. It's bigger than that. But it's just a shame Rey is no longer with us. So I just don't want them to disregard this character. I hope they continue with the character. I doubt they killed him off. But I don't know. So that's going to be interesting. No one could play Baylan's goal better than Ray Stevenson. He's done a phenomenal job, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him next. I'm really starting to believe all this will lead to the creation of the First Order. Thrawn creates it. They include Palpatine, and maybe Dave's movie will end with, like, I don't know, Palpatine's evil laugh or something, and then we see him in a clone back to tank or something, then it ends leading into another movie from Dave, and then another one, making a trilogy, which would be quite neat. But I don't know, this is all speculation for the far future. Obviously Dave's movie or movies will sum up The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, The Book of Boba Fett, Skeleton Crew. It will bring characters from all of those series into one big movie or movies. You know why I think they should do movies, a whole trilogy, just because there is so much to do. I think we will only get one more season of Mando. Ahsoka season 2, maybe.
Especially the show's how bad the
done really well. Yeah. And the end of season 3 feels like the end of the series. The way
it does.
Mando and Grogu, they're all relaxed now. It feels like the end of that series, not the end of their story, but the end of the series. So they could not make another Mando season. They could make a season 2 of Ahsoka, and then Dave's first movie. I feel like if they don't make a Mando season 4, then Dave needs more than one movie to tell this story, this larger story. Yeah. It's just, there's so much going on in this universe. I was watching Screen Crush, and he predicts, and he also thinks it will be a trilogy. And so you got Boba Fett, right? He will bring all the crime syndicates together, just random bounty hunters to fight, and then the Mandalorian people will bring themselves, because the New Republic doesn't really have an army. That's where they failed and fell. They didn't have a military army, and so that's where the Mandalorians could step in as being that military strength. And then you got the Force wielders: Ezra, Ahsoka, Luke.
Oh, imagine if Sabine gets the Darksaber back.
I do think the Darksaber will get rebuilt, but I feel like that's for Grogu. Yeah. See, there's so much that's going on in this era, and in the sequels, we don't get a mention of any single one of these characters: Thrawn, Ezra, Ahsoka, Mandalorian, Grogu. We don't get a mention on any single one of these characters in the sequels. So it's just going to be interesting to see what they do. A part of me wants them to connect it all to the sequels to make the sequels make sense. This all flows better, as a whole franchise. But then a part of me doesn't want anything to do with the sequels. But I think the right thing to do is...
Because you know that it's just forced.
Yeah, exactly. If the sequels were done correctly, it wouldn't need all this fixing and all these shows and all these other movies to fix it. So that's... I believe Dave can do it, but then again, if he wants to, I don't even know. It's hard to tell. But he's telling a good story. We're still 20 years away from The Force Awakens. There is incredible amount of time for stuff to happen. I feel like, predicting his movie or trilogy, I feel like Din will die in it. A lot of other characters. Sabine, maybe not. Thrawn, yeah, probably. But he's already old. So there's a lot of characters that need resolution by the time the sequels come around. But as for the Ahsoka finale, as I said, about 45 minutes, which is a little worrying and disappointing, but she'll be right. It's obviously gonna lead on a cliffhanger. I believe that will be like Thrawn returning to the main galaxy, New Republic being in shambles. Whether we see Luke, I don't know. Maybe. I feel like Ahsoka's gonna get stranded in the galaxy with Ezra. I think they all are. And Sabine. Yep. Ezra was kind of foreshadowing. He was like, I can't believe I'm actually finally gonna go home. That's kind of like foreshadowing. Like, yeah, mate, you're not gonna go home. A lot of people think that's not actually Ezra as well. They think it's some magic from the witches. I don't think so. I think that's the real Ezra.
No. No, and the way that Thrawn's reacting to it as well is...
Yeah. I think in the final episode, something crazy is going to go down with magic. I think the witches or Thrawn, Ezra are going to do something insane with some sort of new power. I feel like Shin... I really feel like Baylan and Shin are going to split. I feel like Baylan's going to go in his complete own direction and just leave every single one and go look for this thing that's calling to him. And if that's Snoke, Palpatine, that could be interesting, but I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. They are in a different galaxy, so I don't know how that would work. It could be the world between worlds calling to him. I've seen a few theories.
I think that's the most likely.
Yeah. I've seen a few theories saying Baylan will be the destruction of the world between worlds, and that's calling to him to... it's crazy, but Dave's cooking up something better than we will think, I reckon, and
it's been the word between worlds has been like abused and like overused, so that the Force is telling Baylan to
maybe
destroy it.
It wasn't meant to be used to save people, and so now the Force is in turmoil and it needs destruction. And that could be part of the reason why the Force allows the creation of the First Order, because the balance was there. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but like the balance was there, and the Force got used in a way it wasn't meant to be used. World between worlds, saving somebody.
Yeah.
Because that's changing the events of how the Force played out. I don't know. It could be very interesting. I think the bad guys will fail. Obviously, Thrawn comes back to the galaxy, and obviously we got talks of Green Admiral Thrawn in the Mandalorian season 3. And with what Carson Teva said in the last episode, it looks like at the point we're up to in Ahsoka right now, the Mandalorian season 3 has just finished. And yeah, it's really cool that we're getting these connections between these shows. It makes it a lot better to watch, especially if you've watched the other shows.
Yeah.
Now, I want for the finale is obviously Anakin Skywalker Force Ghost, but I don't know how that would happen if Ahsoka gets stranded in the new galaxy, which I believe she will. But I think someone's gonna pop off and go crazy with some sort of magic, and I reckon we're gonna see something crazy from Ezra. We're going to find out something.
I think Ezra is going to go ham this episode. I think Sabine's going to get like hurt, and he's going to go like, alright, I'm going to stop joking around.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that, because we know, we always said before Ahsoka came out, before we saw Ezra, that, like, we actually haven't mentioned it in a while, but we know how much he tempts Darkseid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think being in isolation, I think he's been maybe not playing with it, but it's been like festering within him. And I think, Sabine's gonna get real hurt, or maybe his entire friend, like all those like little what are they called? Nellos?
The
Noties.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe all of them get killed or something, and he just goes like bananas.
Yeah, something's crazy gonna happen with him.
So
I think something wild will go down. I was thinking about it, like, a few days ago, recently, that, going into this series, I was incredibly hyped. The show's been amazing. I've absolutely loved it. I think it's really been Star Warsy. But going into it, I expected a lot more. And it's definitely been completely different to what I thought we would get for the Ahsoka series. But I think my expectations were we're going to get all this fan service, we're going to get crazy fan service, something crazy was going to happen.
Yeah.
But Dave Filoni has really created a story with Ahsoka, and a lot of people doubted Dave Filoni being able to create a story, which, questions me, like, have you watched Rebels, have you watched Clone Wars? There's a whole story there, especially Rebels. But I think Ahsoka's been better than what I really went into it thinking it would be. I did think it would just throw a lot of fan service at us that I would love. And while it has had, you could say fan service moments, but I don't want to say they are fan service moments, C-3PO on the last episode. I'm glad they got C-3PO to talk on behalf of Leia instead of giving us a CGI Carrie Fisher face. I think that was a good move. Anakin Skywalker,
it also, it's a cheaper and easier way to display that.
And it's more respectable.
Yeah. Everyone can, exactly, everyone can, refer 3PO to Leia.
Yep.
So,
exactly.
It's just easier and cheaper and less worry than having, as you said, CGI or recast or anything like that.
Yep. And then Anakin showing up, well, that's part of Ahsoka's journey and her story. Anakin was her master. She needed one last lesson to, and we got that in episode 5, which was amazing, and Dave's really created this awesome story with Ahsoka connecting to the other events in this era, and ultimately leading up to his massive Head of the Empire movie. So Ahsoka, for me, with one episode to go, I've definitely enjoyed it. It's got some of my favorite Star Wars ever, some of my favorite scenes ever, and Dave Filoni has really cooked, and episode 8, the finale, is gonna be incredible. I already know, with Rick directing, Dave writing, they always pair up quite well.
Rick's writing.
Rick's directing.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah. There's gonna be some explosions.
Battle is gonna go down. It's gonna be something massive, and
yes,
I reckon it's gonna be dope ass episode. But I can't believe it's the last one.
Yeah, and then we have to go to Loki, which Loki's fine. You have to finish it.
Yes, Loki comes out. Loki season 2 comes out this Wednesday. The finale drops for Ahsoka. I need to watch Loki season 1.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I need to watch Loki season 1. I will, and then I might do like a Loki season 1 review. Then we'll jump on to Loki season 2. I don't think we'll be able to do weekly episodes, weekly reviews. So what we might do for Loki is just do a whole season review once season 2 finishes. We'll work it out. I definitely need to watch season 1, but apparently it's only like 6 episodes, you said, so I can jump on that pretty easy.
6 or 8.
Yeah, okay.
One of those two. I always forget.
But no, that should be good.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ahsoka, man. 1 episode to go is crazy. It took so long to get here, but
I can almost guarantee that there will be season 2. I think.
Yeah, the show's done.
Success has been too good for them to not. So.
Yep, I agree.
That'll be exciting.
Yep. But that's everything I reckon we're gonna get, and a bit of a ramble on about Dave's movies and stuff, and this whole era. It's an incredible era right now for Star Wars. This New Republic era, Mandoverse, and it's all connecting quite nicely. Ahsoka's been a very good thing added to this era, and I can't wait to see what Dave cooks with the finale, and then in the future for this era. But that's our predictions for the finale of Ahsoka episode 8, the finale. And yeah, guys, let us know your final predictions before the episode airs in about like 36 hours or something. So yeah, hype's real, and we'll see you guys in our reaction review breakdown for the finale this Wednesday, this Tuesday for you Americans. And yeah, we'll see you guys then. Alrighty, bye bye.